Hitting the genetic jackpot is exactly that, a jackpot. To be born with the potential to be strong enough, fast enough, tall enough, and of course athletic enough to play basketball at even the college level is an extreme fortune. Only about 14% of American men are over 6 feet tall, and only about 1% stand at least 6'4". The average NBA height is 6'6". But this extreme luck of physical tools is not enough to become a pro athlete. It also takes hard work, dedication, confidence, the ability to change and adapt, and of course, it takes good luck. If all these pieces fall together, you come out with LeBron James, Stephen Curry, or Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, this is rare. Today, I want to take a deep dive into 3 unique men who came from gifted basketball families, but for one reason or another, did not live up to the hype of their brother's success. Each of these guys carry similar, if not identical, athletic potential as their more gifted brothers, but things just did not pan out for them. Please keep in mind as I go through this list that just because an individual did not live up to the hype achieved by their family on the basketball court does not mean they are not or cannot become successful in their own way. Being a basketball player is just a small part of every person in this video. So here is volume 1 of my new Lesser Known Brothers series. Before we get started, please leave a like down below, it helps me out much more than you realize. Now, let us get rolling with the man whom I thought of first when contemplating this video series. Every one of you surely has heard of Pau Gasol, former NBA All-Star and champion who is destined for the Hall of Fame before all is said and done. But have you heard of his lesser known younger brother, Mark? Just kidding. The brother of focus today is Adria, a name most casual basketball fans have never heard. 9 years younger than middle brother Mark and 14 years younger than Pau. Adria's basketball career has taken a much different course than his brother's. Like his brothers, he grew up in Spain. He did come stateside for his freshman and sophomore years of high school though, where he played basketball at Mark's alma mater, Layusain High School in Memphis, Tennessee. Though no film or record of what occurred here is available, second-hand accounts describe this time as uneventful. In 2010, he returned to Spain to finish school, where he again evaded the public eye. But during the summer of 2012, small headlines were made in America as he announced his intention to return to the US to walk on with the UCLA Bruins. Heading into the year, expectations were exceptionally low for the 6'10" raw prospect. Though he had the size and appearance of an NBA great, his actual basketball abilities were so far behind that even he was quoted saying, "I probably won't get any playing time this year, but I'll still fight and work to become the best I can be." Though I admire his optimistic attitude, in the end he would never appear in a game for UCLA. And after only 1 year would leave the school and move back to Spain. Back home in Europe, he played 2 more years of low-level semi-professional basketball before hanging up his shoes and moving on to focus on life after basketball and a career in business management. Though Adria never showed the potential his brothers did on the hardwood, I again need to stress that this in no way reflects his character as a human being. He was and still is a hardworking guy who has the whole world of opportunities in front of him, but NBA, not so much. The next person I want to mention is on the opposite end of the sibling spectrum. Unlike Adria, this man was, and still is for that matter, the oldest of successful basketball prospects and useful NBA players. But he himself was no pushover who should be forgotten. Everyone knows Cody Zeller, the 2013 number 4 overall pick and current starting center for the Charlotte Hornets. Yes, I know they suck. And I hope you also know who Tyler Zeller is as well, the number 17 selection in 2012 who has been in and out of the NBA ever since, but as of me typing this is currently on an NBA roster. But tell me if you've ever heard of the oldest Zeller brother, the one who put the family on the map. Have you ever heard of Luke Zeller? Luke was a high school star in Indiana back in the early 2000s. During his senior year, he averaged nearly 20 and 10, leading the team to their state championship in a game in which he drained a mid-court buzzer-beating three to claim victory. This right here is what dreams are made of. He then moved on to play 4 seasons at local Notre Dame University, where he made a name for himself in an unconventional way. Standing 6'11", Luke was one of the lesser-known pioneers in big man three-point shooting. During his 4 years, he shot 36% from deep, draining at least one deep ball a game. Very few guys his size were shooting the ball like him. After graduating, he went undrafted in 2009, then played professionally in Japan, Lithuania, and the D-League. But in 2012, he actually made an opening night roster in the NBA. He played for the Phoenix Suns, my favorite team. I remember watching Luke and thinking, okay, cool, a big man who can stretch the floor. This should be somewhat useful. Unfortunately, he never really took off. After one good game early in the season where he scored 7 points and hit a long ball, he pretty much was useless the rest of the year. Midway through the season, he was waived, only appearing in 16 games. Afterwards, he played one more season in the D-League before calling it a career. Looking back, none of the Zeller brothers have really amounted to much in the NBA, which is sort of a shame. For the last brother I want to mention in this video, we are going to stick with the Phoenix Suns connection. You all know Blake Griffin, surely, former NBA superstar. Well, have you heard of Taylor Griffin? Let me give you a refresher. Taylor is 2 years older than Blake, and the two not only played together in high school, winning back-to-back Oklahoma State championships, but they also paired up at the University of Oklahoma and helped the team reach the Elite Eight in 2009, Taylor's senior and Blake's sophomore years. Taylor was a beefy, physical power forward who stood about 6'8". He and Blake were well known for their crazy athletic ability in college. In the 2009 NBA draft, Blake, of course, went first overall to the LA Clippers. But did you know Taylor, too, would hear his name called in that draft, number 48 by the Phoenix Suns? I remember hearing interviews prior to the year's start about how Taylor was going to be a project, but he had potential to be a useful physical backup forward who could potentially push around NBA bigs. This did not really happen. After rotting away on the bench most of the year, on a calm night in March of 2010, he would be the first Griffin brother to throw down a monster dunk in Staples Center on the Clippers hardwood. This was because Blake missed the entire rookie year with an injury. Taylor managed to hang around the team the whole season, minus a few D-League games. He even watched the Suns make the conference finals from the bench, but ultimately he only played in 8 games. After this year, he played briefly in Belgium, then bounced around the D-League for a few years, before making one final stop in Italy before calling it a career. So there you have it, 3 lesser-known NBA brothers who you may or may not have heard of. I am fascinated by the stories behind basketball players, and when I find interesting ones, I like to share them with you all. Thank you guys for sticking with me as long as you have. We recently hit 2,500 subscribers, which is unbelievable. I want to continue to grow and make content for you guys. Please let me know of some interesting brothers worth looking into, and subscribe if you have not already. Lastly, if you notice my voice is a little funky today, I think I'm a little sick, but hopefully everything's alright. Everything's probably alright. Anyways, I will see you all next time.